I'm just sitting here trying to back up my security camera footage. There's an issue on my computer that's not letting me do it, so I decided that the more they try to stop me, it may not be them, but I feel like the more they try to stop me, the more I have to get this stuff out there. So here I go. This journal goes back to October, when the shit was really crazy. Right? You might have to pause it so you can read it. My handwriting may be hard to read. But, alright. This is my life story right now. This is all the shit I've been going through for 6 months. I've been harassed by my neighbors, harassed by my coworkers, Apple store employees, Verizon store employees. LAPD has done nothing. My storage unit got broken into. I've emailed the claim representative, Brett Rich, 3 times, no response. ESIS. He works for ESIS. ESIS is a client of the firm that I work for. Another client of the firm that I work for is MindPath. MindPath is the psychiatrist that UCLA Medical Health had me set up to go to. But what I've come to find out is MindPath used to be community psychiatry. And what does that sound like? That sounds like several members of the community taking it into their own hands, someone else's well-being into their own hands. So with that being said, some of the things I've experienced that sound completely crazy, the more crazy it sounds, the less likely someone is to believe me. So that's more reason for me to stay calm, because I do get a little bit dramatic, a little bit out of hand. But I'm preparing for a trial, right? If they don't murder me, I have everything I need for trial. And if I can stay cool, calm, and collected, look nice when I go in, right? I think I have a good chance. One of the reasons that they targeted me, I think, I really have no clue how far it goes back to. They've gone through all of my personal paperwork, so they have easily made it seem like it goes back to high school, but I do have a slight feeling that it goes back to high school. It's a lot. Everybody in Los Angeles. Just the other day, I walked into the Verizon store, and immediately upon walking in is the corporate Verizon store at the Beverly Center, Beverly Connection. And immediately when I walked in, one of the store's employees had said something about they're going to be setting her up for credit card fraud. And that kind of goes along with everything that they've been telling me. First, they've already cloned all my devices. When I returned to work after the medical leave, that's all of this is describing. Once I returned to work after my medical leave, the harassment continued at work. I came back and my desk had been broken into. The reason it got broken into was because I had stored several of these SD cards like this in my desk drawer, right? And then one of the girls, who I think is also involved, posted a comment on my Instagram and says something like, "Oh, be safe. They've got their ways or their tricks or something." So that let me know that was before I got back and found that the drawer had been broken into. So when I got back and saw the drawer had been broken into, I kind of immediately knew, like, oh, she has something to do with it. That made me restrict her on Instagram, because I don't really want to unfriend people, right? People are being so fake nice. Right? And then I don't want to like be rude, but really I should unfriend people now. It's just a number of people who drop hints repeatedly through social media, by liking photos where I seem stressed and crazy as I describe the events that are happening to me. Those are people who are immediately, I believe they are involved in this. And then I've created a list of people, right? Because nobody really likes me. Nobody cares for me. Nobody pays attention to me for the most part. So when I see people that I know don't like me viewing my stories, like every single story, that kind of lets me know that these people are really stalking me. The things that they've described, they said that they've broadcasted it on Instagram Live, all of the stuff that they've done, everything that's going on inside of my apartment. There's so many crazy things that they've told me. They said that they're using an x-ray machine and that's how they're able to see. They said the lady at the Verizon store, it was a customer at the Verizon store, after the after the employee said something about setting me up for credit card fraud, one of the customers was talking with another employee and she said something about an EEG machine. That goes along with another conversation I had with them regarding a brainwave machine. So they're able to access every single password I have without me saying anything, because they can read my mind, very literally read my mind. So some of the conversations and some of the stress and pressures that they've put on me were designed to get me to think in a certain way so that they can then extract more information from me and use it against me. Another thing that they're doing is a voice hack where they've recorded my voice, and I think that's goes along with the identity theft that they talk about. So I'm leaving this here for anybody who wants to see it. I have 13 SD cards ranging from 8 gigabytes to 256 gigabytes. I have I think that's a 4 terabyte drive. I have an 8 terabyte hard drive. I've just been documenting this, recording stuff from my security cameras, because we do have conversations, but everything that they do, they design it to make it look like I'm crazy. So that's part of the reason I installed the video cameras, because everyone says, well, do you have it on video? Do you have any evidence? Do you have any proof? And it's kind of hard to get their voices on the camera, but the conversations that I'm having are not conversations with myself. They're in response to external voices, it's tenants in the building, possibly like some kind of, I'm not exactly sure, but some kind of electronic device monitoring something. There's definitely a way where I can hear them very clearly, and they can, whether it's through EEG, micro mesh net camera system, whatever it is, that is how they're monitoring. That's how they're able. In the very beginning, it was driving me crazy because I could hear these voices describing the things that I was doing in my house, and I thought, well, how do they know what I'm doing unless there's some kind of monitor? Like, did they put cameras in my apartment? And they had every ability to do so. When I got back from the mental leave that I had to take, I came home and I found a screen, an external screen inside my apartment. Fingerprints on the wall by the window, where I believe that's where they did the initial break-in to get access to my Verizon, whatever, 5G home internet router. And then after that, it was around September 2nd. I did check my what do you call it? Was digital secure on Verizon, and September of 2022, my information was compromised. Also in March, there's some other dates in there. I'm not exactly sure how long they've been doing this, but it's been quite a while. There's a former apartment manager, and under his watch, a set of my keys went missing. Not just one set, two. He replaced the locks, right? I replaced the locks myself, and he kept demanding a key. So finally I asked for the building to replace the locks because I wasn't going to give him the key to my lock. That's a lock that I was going to take with me wherever I went. When he put the lock on, it was a deadbolt and a doorknob set that should have contained 4 keys. When I received it, the box had already been opened and there were only 3 keys inside of it. I checked because I still have the packaging and product number, and when you look on Home Depot, it says that there's 4 keys. So that's where I think that the access to my apartment happened. Someone had a key. So even still, right, I knew that something funny was with that apartment manager. I put another lock on, a different lock, and for a while nobody had a key to it. Even though no one had a key, one of the things that I noticed again when I went on my mental leave, I forgot that I had a watermelon in a mini refrigerator. When I returned from my medical leave, that watermelon was nowhere to be found. That is how I know someone was in my apartment. Their insistence, all this crazy shit started when I overheard another neighbor talking about throwing a roach into my apartment. Because they want me to get evicted. They want me to lose my job. I'm still not exactly sure of the reasons. They told me it's because I transferred an STD to someone I don't know how long ago. And then once they realize that I've had sex with over 100 people, they're like, oh man, now we got to infect a whole bunch of people. So I don't really know what to believe. I just know that I am being harassed by my neighbors directly. My neighbors, I can identify very specific voices. That's the neighbor that's directly across from me, the neighbors above me. There's some units that are behind me. At least 3 of the units in this building I know for sure. They're involved. One of the tenants, and it could be a coincidence, right? I leave everything up to chance. But when I went to... So, the thing is, my devices have been cloned. How do I know? Because before they were cloned, the location accuracy, it was on point. 5 feet, 10 feet. Now location accuracy says that it's coming from the cell phone store next to my house. Right? Every time I check, certain devices are like pinned into certain locations, and none of them are where they should be. At least that's what I believe. I have video of devices that are powered off, wireless devices only, not cell devices. And in that video, the device is moving from location to location. It's a device I have in my possession. It's not moving. I know for sure because I have it in my possession. But on the Find My app, when I look at the Find My app, the device will go from the front of the building to the back of the building to my neighbor's apartment, all around. This device should not move like that. That's how I know, right? They have... It's just like I really don't know. Every time, because of the EEG machine or whatever it is that gives them access to my thoughts, I cannot set up a password. Because every password I set up, they know it as I'm typing it. If it doesn't have two-factor authentication, the reason they clone my cell phone, so they can then, this is what I believe, get the 2FA on my cell phone number. All of my devices were cloned, so I really don't know how it works, but I'm just guessing, right? Based off of what they are telling me and what I know about technology. I do know a little bit. There is a way for them to steal my identity, but because they've told me every step of the way what they're doing to me, they've described it. So I've kind of been able to see exactly what they've been doing and record it, document it. And I give them enough room to hang themselves. Like, some of the stuff I do is a setup, right? Just to see how far they want to go. One of the things I had posted when I initially knew, wasn't when I initially knew. One of the things I posted after I was sure that people were out after me, I posted a test drive of a new car. There were a group of people who I've read them. I'm very good at reading pantomimes, facial expressions, all of that stuff, body language, you know. And after reading these people, I could tell that they had ulterior motives for being friendly to me. So then one of the things before I did the test drive, people were asking me about the car that I currently have. Oh, have you done anything to it, modified it? And like, other questions, and it's like, no, it's a stock car, it's a lease, like it's whatever. So they have discussed stealing my car. I heard a coworker mention, we just told her we were going to steal the Acura, but we're really going to steal the Subaru, right? Like, they knew that there's no Acura after I told people. So that's what they keep telling me, or I don't know, talking about they're going to steal the Acura, because they can say that since there is no Acura. It's not a crime. They haven't committed a crime telling me they're going to steal a car that I don't have. One of the reasons I'm posting this is because some of the things they talk about, I do believe them to be true. Like breaking into my apartment and stealing all of my machinery, things that I use for creating things. I have printers. There's various things that I have that I use for business, and they've discussed stealing them. I haven't been able to operate my business because I've been so stressed out by all of these threats. So not only have I lost money by not being able to create freely, because I have to carry shit from here to there, worry about, oh, if I get this set up, or if I start working on this, and then I got to tear it down because I got to take it with me, since it's my neighbors who are threatening to break into my apartment, and I know very well that they have access. There's not really much that I can do. And then it's just a whole lot of threats. The one thing that really let me know how real it is was when they broke into my storage unit. Because up until the break-in in my storage unit, there wasn't really a crime that it had evidence of. So I have a police report for the storage unit break-in, and the people I want to name as suspects are Marcus Huter, I don't know how to say his last name. Jalen, I don't know his last name. He has a clothing company, No Rivals. The other people, I don't know if they're their real names. Catherine Luciano, Jordan Lake, Aria, I don't know his last name, but I think he drives a Mustang. These are people that have been contributing to the stress I have been going through for at least the last 6 months. I'm putting it out there because I'm still getting threatened.